Hello and welcome to Garblag Games. Tonight we have the first episode of our new Pathfinder series, Roads and Ruins. I'm Pete, the Game Master, and in a moment we're going to go around and everyone's going to tell you who they are and potentially who they might be playing, because tonight's episode is character creation. We are going to have our session 0 where I will talk a little bit about the setting and what we're going to be doing with these adventures. And we'll, as we go, build the characters and talk about them and how they work together and how they're in this situation. Okay, cool. So what we'll do is we shall go round, and if you can say who you are, and if you've had any thoughts about what kind of character you wanted to play, then let the audience know. We'll start with Aldoon.
Good evening and welcome to Garblag and the joys of Pathfinder. And Pete's wonderful world mountain.
Yeah.
Yes. You know who I am. I will possibly be playing an elf with the pointy ears, cunningly hidden by the headphones. Possibly with some sort of ranged weapon, because I like to break with tradition.
Okay. Excellent. Great. Over to Roger. How are you doing, Roger?
I'm very good, thanks, Pete. Hi, everyone. I'm Roger, and I'm thinking of playing a Jotun champion.
That's why he's sitting closer to the camera than everyone else, so it makes him look like he's bigger.
Yeah. So I'm sure Pete can fill you in a bit more about.
They're half giants, but they are half giants created as the second race, and they are about 7 to 8 feet tall, very tough, very hearty, very up for battle, song, and laughter. And they live atop the World Mountain. That's where they come from, the peak. Jondon Grid is their city, but some of them now have come down to different layers of the World Mountain, and we'll talk a bit more about that later. I'm going to leave Millie till last, because we've got some interesting things going on with Millie's character. And we're going to go to Dan next. Dan, how you doing?
Oh, that caught me unaware. I thought you were thinking just follow the path round.
I know.
Glad to not be last, though. So hi everyone, I'm Dan, and I will be playing a fox lady, a kitsune, and I will likely be using some divining abilities.
Ooh. Some sort of maybe occult spellcaster or something. Who knows? We'll see. Interesting. Okay. Ben, how are you doing?
Good. Not a clue what I'm playing. Hello, I'm Ben. You might have seen me previously on such other things as other bits of Garblag Games. But yeah, I've not got a clue what I'm playing. I have come up with somewhere in the region of half a dozen characters since we first started talking about this.
And 50% of those were first edition characters, weren't they?
Yeah. There were a few first edition characters in the mix there. I was not the only one who made that mistake.
That is true.
But so I don't know what I'm playing. It kind of depends on what the group needs to bulk it out, really.
Okay, cool. And last but very much not least, our producer, the creator of all wonderful intros, and damn fine GM herself, Millie.
Hey, how's it going? I've almost finished the other screen that we were going to look at in a minute, because I'm not producing on the fly, honest. So my name's Millie. I do stuff, and I kind of know what class I want to play, but as I am a agent of chaos, I thought I would also collaborate with chat to make some picks for my character, which means I could end up with Elfie McElf face. But that is just something I'm willing to roll with.
So final name decision, maybe we can influence it a little bit. But that's cool.
We'll make some choices. We'll use the poll feature and stuff, and make some picks for like race or ancestry, that kind of stuff. And see what we get.
Okay. Jim is in chat saying yes to Elfie McElface, so we're in trouble.
Yeah, I've just realised. And now I've gone through, that thing where you can look who's in chat. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yep, you're doomed.
I'm doomed.
You're basically doomed.
Okay, so what are we doing? We are playing Pathfinder 2nd edition, which is a very cool system that I've been wanting to get into for a while now. Got all the books going on. Yep, get all the books out. That's all good stuff. We're using Foundry as our VTT of choice. And as mentioned earlier on, what I've been interested in doing is doing a Hex Crawl adventure where we create a wilderness area which has an ancient civilization beneath the wild that has reclaimed it. And you are in an outpost heading out into that wilderness. Now, in the Game Mastery Guide, which I think is a very funky book for Pathfinder 2, it's not a book that's sort of 100 pages of how to be a games master. It's specific games master tools for Pathfinder, which add some additional rules, some different takes on things, how to adjust your game to your table the way you might want to. And in here, there's 4 pages of Hex Crawl Rules, which we'll sort of use, because what I want to do is I want to expand on hex crawling. And on our Discord, which if someone could drop the link in the chat, that would be really handy. And if you're watching this back on YouTube, there's a link in the video description below. On our Discord, we've got a dev channel where I am working on expanding terrain to have stat blocks and looking into specific sites. And this will all become a bit more relevant from next week onwards. So I've got a little bit of time to polish some of it off. But what we're going to do is we're going to start making characters, and then in between I'll talk about the initial setup of where we are and what we're doing. But you will all be beginning from a location called, let me get now this is one of the things I really like about Foundry, is the journal entries. And I'll open this up to you once you see the Hex Crawl map. You will all be starting from Emberwatch Tower, which is at the end of the old road which leads out from the city of Pargranin. Now, there's been a bit of war going on between the nations of Nolos and Erelos. It used to be one nation of Nolos, but the city-states of Erelos broke away and now have their freedom, and a peace has finally been called. And all the bigwigs and all the important people are going to a city far away called Morastabar, which is a big trade city, to write the peace, everyone to sign it, all that good stuff going on. Pargranin is the furthest city away from the war, from the peace signing and all those things, but is the nearest one to this wilderness. And there is a vast wilderness area that used to be a huge dwarven megalopolis spreading across the country for hundreds of miles. And this has now all been grown over, eroded away, and this is the kind of area that we're going to start exploring out into. I don't know if we can get... Can you guys see the Hex Crawl map on...
Load in, yeah. Hang on a second.
Now, before you go there, I've put a token on the page for you. Do not move your token. Your token's there so you have some vision. Yeah? So you should be able to see a little circular area of a map. Yeah? Nods. Some nods from players.
Can see that.
Yeah?
Don't worry,
good.
Twitch. We'll get there in a minute. Just give me a second. Don't worry, Twitch.
Oh.
Well, I see what the problem was. I was miles away.
Yeah. That's the familiar problem of
so
lost in the darkness.
Don't move your token. If you zoom all the way out, you'll see it, and then zoom all the way in, you'll be all right. And Millie's going to pop that up on the screen in a minute. Where are we? Here we go. Let me read out the rest of the blurb.
Thanks, Ben. Oh, we've lost Ben already.
Sorry, I was running around the tower.
Yeah. That's a different character. None of your parkour nonsense
here. Here we go. Ah, there we go. Excellent.
I did it.
So there is our little area, and what I'm trying to do is get to the...
And there's Ben.
Here we go. So recently the war ended. The nation of Nolos withdrew forces from the field and sent envoys to meet with the Erelosian leaders. This far from the front line, it's hard to know the truth of the rumors filtering across hundreds of miles. You are all in the employ of the Countess of Pargranin, and her name is... Excuse me while I get my notes out. Countess Doctoral Emberblade. She is a dwarf. The furthest city-state of Erelos from the front line. She is keen to take advantage of this new peace. Although they are the furthest from the war, they are the closest to the Woodland Wilds, an ancient region of dwarven urbanization now swallowed by vast forests and swamps. She is aware that somewhere beyond these wilds lie the great dwarf undercity of Draldumir and the newly settled orcish city of Erebag. Yet there are hundreds of miles of unclaimed land between here and there. Now with the war finished, it is their chance to finally focus their forces on this untamed wilderness. Yet it will take time for their full forces to return from the talks at Mirastabar. So in order to get a head start, a small outpost has been set up, as you can see in the wilds, just beyond the end of the ruined old road. You have been sent there as an expeditionary force to bolster the outpost and explore the wilds with the aim of bringing great bounty and ancient dwarven knowledge back for Pargranin. Now, one thing I should point out is that the world was built by dwarves. The world is a giant world mountain. It's a huge mountain floating through the ether, through space, and coming off of the mountain are the different layers of reality. And you live on the middle layer, the big layer, which is kind of like the prime material plane in normal Dungeons and Dragons, and that is called Arlorn, or the Realm, as people refer to it. And above you is the realm of Glorim, which is the Fey Dusk and Fey Dawn, and a kind of elven, fairy, undead spiders kind of realm above. So you can literally see this disc world above you, and all the worlds are big discs. And
the rain is actually bits of the sea falling.
And the rain that comes from the overhang of Glorim is water dripping down from that world. So where you get lots of it from the elemental ocean or other areas, you get the magic of that other realm coming down. So that's why you get this kind of verdant growth suddenly all the time, because the rain coming down is very rich, full of primal magic, if we start talking Pathfinder terms. Cool. Okay, so what we can see is we've got the tower in the middle, and what I'm going to do is, sorry, because I've got it on a half screen, Emberwatch Tower, we're going to whack that in the middle there. Can you see that? And can you guys see the symbol? No. Here we go. Permissions. All players, observers. Can you see that in the journal? Journal tab. Emberwatch Tower sits atop a large hill at the end of the old road. The mound is surrounded by a trench, and a palisade sits within the surrounding the structures. A barracks, forge, and stable sit within low buildings of stone and wood. Central tower is more remarkable. Made of a reddish metal in a subtle conical shape, it is topped by a dome, which has a slot built into the Duskwood side, which looks out into the Woodland Wilds, as if facing out across the wilderness beyond. The inner buildings are still being repaired. A fourth sits as a burnt shell. The central tower has 3 floors and serves as a base of operations to look out for the site. The watch is led by the Honourable Doric Emberblade, third son of the Countess Doctoral Emberblade, leader of Pargranin. He is a dwarf captain of the Guard 6, which is an NPC class from the NPC character from the Game Mastery Guide. The site has a garrison of 2 teams of dock hands, 2 teams of torchbearers, and 2 teams of guards. Now, teams are going to be important in my Hex Crawl rules, and we'll come on to that later. But they can do what's called work, and this is a new victory point system I'll be creating that allows you to find ruined sites and then rebuild them using work over time. And it opens up new features and abilities. But the important bit, Doric's Exploration Council are Krilge, a chronicler, Sir Althus Credwin, the watch officer, Tereth of the Lucid Eye, who's a prophet of the Dreamer, who is a Leviathan god who lives in the elemental ocean above. Yep, giant Leviathan god. Yep, like a literal sea serpent type thing. And then
Occasionally drops tentacles full of undead Sahuagin.
once in a while. And then Hyalar, Earthbound, that's their honorific, cleric of Ondrim, a Jotun lady. Ondrim is the world mountain and the chief power, all in one. So the big god and the big mountain. And Ondrim created the dwarves first, who built all the layers, and then the dwarves fashioned all the other races, or from the nature of those layers, the other races were born. So the main goals, Doctoral's main goals are maintain the security of Emberwatch Tower and its garrison, provide support to the party's exploration activities, and where possible, increase the reach and resources of Park Grannon. So that is Emberwatch Tower. That's the main site there in the middle, and we've got a little blue hexagon, which you all should actually be able to move, and that represents the party. Now, don't move it outside of the circle yet. I saw you all move your pointer there. That was amazing. I love that about this, that you can see where everyone else is moving. That's fantastic.
Boom, right into the middle. Yeah.
And when we move, we will move that hexagon, and it has vision. So as you move out of and the reason I say this is because there's a fog of war, a fog of exploration, I should say, not fog of war. It's not a war game. But as you move out, it'll uncover the hexagons, but you'll only be able to see what's going on in the ones that are within vision. Okay, but here you can see we've got forests, we've got plains, which are the yellowy. See where the old road is? They're plains tiles. You've got forest, you've got hills, you've got lake, and you've got ruins. Now, there are actually a few visible things. So I'm going to give you a little bit of lay of the land, and then we'll make the characters, and you've got a bit of information to help you figure out what you might want to do. So bear with me one second.
I have a question.
Oh yeah, go for it. Fire away.
What are the spoopy looking trees?
It's just to make them look slightly different.
Okay.
You know, occasionally there's a dead tree there
I've
instead.
been playing a lot of Valheim, and that spoopy kind
means
of tree
something.
means something.
Okay,
So
no.
just wanted to check.
No.
Yeah, I don't trust him.
However, there are 3 current concerns for the Emberwatch Tower, and that is there's a nearby ruined village immediately dawnward. There is a lake, which you are underneath the elemental ocean above in Glorim here, and any large body of water is likely to have a concentration of primal energy from Glorim, and investigating that would be of worth and of note for the head of the watch. And you're also aware that there is a ruin a few days duskward from the tower that they've kind of seen, can see out there. There's something over there. There's a break in the trees. There's some little structures. We're not sure what it is. So that would be quite useful to go and have a look at as well. So those are the going concerns. I'll just switch those off for now, just because it looks cool on the screen. And you can see those tiles anyway. But I thought what we'd do now, I've given you guys a bit of information now, hopefully not too much of an info dump straight away, and give you guys a bit of context for what you may want to then play. Or you can see now we're in a forested area, for example. This is a temperate zone. Up to what you would call north, but it's Duskwood, is the mountains way beyond. And up in those mountains, there is a dwarven fortress underground city called Droldumir. And off to the east, which is actually Ondward, there is an orcish city called Erebag, Goblinoid city. They've recently escaped persecution and tyranny and have settled on the coast somewhere. Traders have come round to Pargranin and they've said, oh yeah, we've settled on the coast, 3 weeks up the coast, but no one's exactly sure. No one's traveled the road or found a road there yet. So there are two kind of longer term goals, but this is the immediate area that you can see. Anyway, I'm going to stop talking for a bit, maybe. And we're going to have a look at characters. So let us begin. So character creation process in Pathfinder is a multi-step process, but it's fairly clearly laid out. So step one is to create a concept, to have in your mind what you want to do, and hopefully this has given you a little bit of information. I've shared with you guys the pantheons as well, just in case there's anything you wanted to think of from there. This has got all of the, you'll see in the Foundry, it's got all the world mountain characters in there. So right, and then the next step is to start building your ability scores. All of your ability scores start at 10. And these are the typical strength, dexterity, constitution, intelligence, wisdom, and charisma. So everyone starts with 10 in all of those. And we're going to go through and you're going to pick an ancestry, a background, and a class. And these will give you what are called boosts. Now, a boost is a +2 to an ability. So if you've got your first boost would take you up to a 12. You may also get a floor, and that is a -2. So you reduce it down by 2. Okay. So first off, we select an ancestry. So Aldoon, remind everyone what ancestry you were going to go for.
Oh, I was thinking elf.
Elf. Okay, cool. That's in the core book. That's easy for me to find.
I thought I'd go traditional on this one.
So here we go. You are an elf. That means you get 6 hit points.
Whoa.
Yay. Yeah. For reference, humans get 8, I think, and dwarves get 10. Jotuns get 12.
I'm going to die.
6 hit points. You're medium-sized. And is anyone else going to be an elf before we do this?
I don't know. I've got about 30 seconds
Millie, do you want
left
to
to
set
find
up
out.
your you set the poll up, have
It's
you?
going. Don't know what I'm on yet.
Oh, do I get to vote? Oh.
Can I vote?
I'm voting. Do I get to vote?
Apparently, I'm going to be a dwarf.
It looks like you're going to be a dwarf. That's cool. Is it no one else is going to be elf? Okay, so your speed is 30 feet, which is actually pretty quick. Everyone else, I think, will be probably about 25 or 20.
A fleet-footed elf.
You are.
Sorry.
And you get a boost to dexterity, intelligence, and then you get a free one. You have a floor in constitution, so that goes down by 2. Now you could use your free boost to put your constitution back up to 10, or you could go for something else.
Dex.
Okay, Dex. Can you use it? Free ability boost and decide if you're taking any voluntary floors. Yeah, it doesn't say you can't put it in one you've already got.
It's Dex and Int is my ancestry boost, isn't it?
Yes.
Yep.
And a free one. Yep.
Oh, cool.
Cool. Okay. Roger, you're going to play a Jotun, aren't you?
I am.
Now this is
I can't select.
You can't select. So pick.
I can't even put it in there
because we're making it up.
We're making it up. So pick orc from the list for now. That'll do. But you get a boost to strength and charisma.
It's there we go. It's in.
You got it.
So strength.
Put your strength up by 2.
Yeah.
Your charisma up by 2. Your wisdom, you get a flaw in wisdom because they're a bit brash and not in a bad way, in a good way. They're kind of bold. And then you get a free boost, so you could put your wisdom back up if you wanted to.
I mean, I'm not sure what I need as a champion. I have no idea.
Well, think about a paladin, and you won't be far off.
It's a paladin, but you're not as
yes.
bound by alignment. You could be a chaotic paladin and be called a liberator.
Hang on, we forgot to
Lawful good is paladins.
I like that you're assuming I know what paladins need.
Strength and
Charisma.
Strength and charisma.
Strength and charisma.
Maybe
yeah.
wisdom.
Maybe a bit, wisdom for spell casting later.
Oh,
Constitution as a fallback for
buff
being
wisdom,
tasty.
Hey, we're getting a little raid there.
You get. Oh, hello,
Hello, folks. Welcome. We're making some
Hey.
characters.
Triffy Bernal. Thank you for joining us. So I forgot to say, Aldoon.
Hello.
We need to do. You have to pick a heritage for your elf as well.
Right.
I don't know if you can see those in. In the.
I'm gonna say no.
No. Okay. Well, I'll tell you what. I'll read some off for you then.
Ooh, go on then.
Excuse me. Let me just cough for a moment.
Oh, go.
Okay, so you could be an Arctic elf, which will come from the realm of Ledrya, which is the nearby on the planetary scale, icy mountains. You would gather cold resistance.
No.
You could be a cavern elf. You're born underground, and you gain dark vision.
I've got dark vision. No, I have
Yes.
low light vision. I always get those two confused.
Yes, yeah. You start with low light vision. You can see in dim light as though it were bright light.
Tempting.
And they're not the same as infravision and ultravision, which were both cooler.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What else you got?
You could be a seer elf, where you can cast the detect magic cantrip as an arcane innate spell at will.
Ooh, that's kind of fun.
In addition, you get a bonus to identify magic and decipher writing.
Mm.
You could be a whisper elf. Your ears are
Get free
finely
chocolate bar.
tuned.
That's chocolate.
You can use a seek action to sense undetected creatures in a 60-foot cone instead of a 30-foot cone. And you get a bonus to locate undetected creatures you could hear within 30 feet. A woodland elf, when climbing trees and other foliage, move at half your speed on a success and at full speed on a critical success. 1 second. And you can always take cover when you are within forest terrain. Interesting. We are in a
quite interesting
foresty area. Then in the advanced player's guide,
That's rather fit with my sniper build.
that is true. That is true.
So does the whisper one, though.
Don't
Sniping
be
at things you can hear in the forest.
Yeah, I don't want to be that close. I'm going to send Rodgin to flush them out, and then I'll shoot them.
Oh, no, there are a couple of others, but they're the Lost
Teamwork.
Omen ones. So which one of those would you like to go for?
I'd like Woodland for 10, please, Bob.
Okay, so you're a woodland elf. So that is cool. Excellent. So we have a woodland elf in the wood area, and you get to pick an ancestry feat.
Ooh.
I'm going to let you have a look at those
Yes, I will.
on your own, and we'll come back round once everyone's got their first steps done, and we'll say what ancestry feats we've got. So we're going to go to Roger. Roger, you get 12 hit points. Your speed is 30. You have strength and charisma boosts and a free boost. Your ability floor is wisdom. Your languages are common and giant.
I can't alter my speed.
We'll sort that out later. That's fine.
Okay, and where do I put hit points? Maybe blind. I can't see them.
Points in what? Sorry.
Current max hit point. I also can't alter my hit point.
Should be able
Oh,
to.
because of the drag and drop nature and it being a not draggy droppy one.
Yeah. Okay, that's fine. I will add in Jotun then before next time, and we'll finish that bit off.
So yeah, I'm not sure how much I'll be able to do on my.
You
character.
can adjust your stats. You can adjust your stats.
Yeah,
as you
I've done
see
the
fit.
stat bit from
Cool. Okay,
being a
that's fine.
Jotun, but
That's cool. We'll sort out your ancestry feat next time. So we'll focus on the champion stuff for you. Dan,
That's me.
you're going for a
Kitsune.
Kitsune.
And just Roger, you can do your HP if you know where you drag and drop orc into Ancestry. If you go in the little edit box inside, you can edit your hit points and speed and that in there.
where's the edit box?
So you know next to where it says orc, and then at the end
There's
there's a little square.
There's a little square with a.
You go
pencil in
inside there, you can change all your bits and pieces in there, and when you press enter, it
there you
automatically
go.
updates it on your character sheet.
Last chance to vote now on Millie's dwarf ancestry. Do 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 do. Boo.
Boo! So I've made it difficult, haven't I, by picking something that's a bit more uncommon.
And is in I don't have it in one of my books.
As luck would have it, I have Archives of Nethys open.
Yeah.
So, ancestries, and you want Kitsune.
Yeah, I just got that up here.
Is my size medium, Pete, or is it large?
You're medium still.
Medium. Cool.
Just trying to find the heritage bits. Right, so you have 8 hit points.
Yep.
As a Kitsune. You're medium. Your speed is 25.
Yep.
Your ability boosts charisma and a free one.
Yep.
But you don't have a floor. So you don't get a third boost.
Yeah.
Your language is common, with additional ones based on your intelligence. You get low light vision, and you get the change shape ability.
Correct.
You have to choose whether you change shape into a fox or into a human.
So are you a fox that turns into a human, or a human that turns into a
No,
fox?
you're a fox-headed humanoid that turns into a human, or you're a fox-headed humanoid that turns into a fox. And you keep the tail as well in any form except human.
So you can become like a full human or a full fox.
Yes.
One or the other.
I will definitely be becoming a full fox.
Okay, cool. I like it.
Wow.
There we go. Now, your ancestors will have come from Glorim, from the realm above. So you'll be quite recently removed from that realm. So you will have known stories of that area as well. Cool. Okay. So it sounds like there isn't a heritage. There's a choice to be made there. So that's cool. Right. Ben.
Yeah, I don't know. Better do Millie. She's got her sorted. I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Chat
I
of
kind of need to know what character classes people are going to be before I can pick my ancestry.
Ooh. Well, I'm a dwarf, a rock dwarf.
A rock dwarf.
Yeah. That's
Cool.
That's what we've picked.
Okay. A rock dwarf. So rock dwarfs, you get a +2 circumstance bonus to your fortitude or reflex save against attempts to shove or trip you when you're in contact with when you plant your feet. Cool.
Not sure
Some
how
rock
useful
lobster in
that's
my
going to
head
be for a swashbuckler, but we're going to roll with it.
Okay, so dwarf swashbuckler.
Yeah.
I like it.
The only thing I've
Big
picked.
sword, though.
Yeah.
It's
Only
not
thing I've
rapier
picked.
at all.
But if you could tell me like the
Sure.
the ability score
other
stuff.
bits?
Yeah.
So you get 10 hit points.
Okay.
Your boosts are Constitution, Wisdom, and a free one, and your floor is Charisma.
The Constitution would become 12.
12.
Wisdom would
Wisdom 12.
12.
Charisma 8.
Oh,
And then a free one
all right.
to
I'm going to
boost.
put it
anywhere.
in Dex. There we go.
Okay. Cool. Cool.
Yeah. All right.
Right.
You good?
We're going to go back to Ben then.
Yeah.
Do I want to go fighty or magic-y? That's the big
Well,
consideration.
we're going to have a champion, a cleric or an oracle, I'm not sure, a swashbuckler,
Got a lot of fighty, basically.
Yeah, but you can never have too much fighty, can you?
Well, go fighty
Or
then.
too much spellcastery.
We've got possibly Healy. Possibly. Probably not.
Yeah, Dan, are you going to be our healer?
I don't think he is. Not if he's going Oracle.
I mean,
You
if
could be a Healy Oracle.
and only if you go life, though. I guess I could
Yeah.
go life rather than ancestor. I haven't
Don't
even
have
looked at
to.
that. I haven't
Do
looked that
you?
far into it yet.
You.
It's going step at a time,
Yeah,
like
I've-
I
I've-
asked.
I'm pretty
Magus.
sure I'm going to be an oracle of some kind. If that helps in any way, Ben, make your decision.
No, probably not. Ah,
Go left field and become a druid.
yeah.
I did look at Druid
Oh,
originally,
love
but
a Druid.
nah, not really.
What about Witch?
Well, my choices at the minute, there's Sorcerer,
Sorcerer's
Summoner,
good.
or
So funny.
Barbarian.
I want
Summoner
to be
covers both
barbarian.
bases, right? Because you can summon something to do fighty, and you can be magical at the same time.
It's true.
Okay, it's true.
And you get
Why
a
not
pet.
both?
And you
a pet.
get a cool pet.
It's true.
Are you saying you want me to be a summoner?
No.
How do you do a poll, Millie?
what
give me
are
a
we-
poll.
We were going to do a poll. Pick Ben's.
Summoner or sorcerer?
Summoner, sorcerer, barbarian.
Can you do 3 things on a poll?
Yeah, you
can.
can do up to 5.
Wow.
Why not?
Oh, wow.
Ben,
Hello. It's better than Twitter.
Yeah. Summoner. Barbarian. Or what?
Sorcerer.
Sorcerer.
Saucy row.
I'm surprised we don't have a ranger, I have to say.
We nearly had a ranger, and then I
We
thought,
nearly,
"Ooh, guns.
we nearly had a ranger.
An elf with guns.
With guns. Heresy.
Ride in on my moose with my long flowing hair and go, do you feel
Ah.
lucky, punk? Do you?
That's sort of like elves on a moose. That's good. Like that.
Prithee, miscreant. Didst thou count the number of shots fired?
Okay. Oh, here we go. Pick Ben's class. Ben, you just couldn't let Millie get away with all of the
Oh, I'm just
audience
massively
interaction, could
indecisive.
you?
I'm
That's
so
what
used
I
to being a
think.
forever GM and being able to have like 18 characters lined
That's
up.
true.
That it doesn't matter.
I have run out of spoons, miscreant. Oh, we're spending a lot of money on this. I've got a lot of
Hello.
growths.
There's a lot of. Oh, hello. What's going on? How many votes are going on?
no. Oh, ooh.
Barbarian.
there we go.
Oh, summoner in the end.
damn it.
Oh, neck
Wow.
and neck for a while
Damn
there.
it.
Summoner it
Summoner.
is then.
I spent
Okay.
a lot of growths on that.
Wow. 1,200 channel points.
Yeah.
Phew.
Really want a pet in this campaign.
Yeah.
I want
Wow.
Ben
Right.
to be the barbarian. I just want to see that because it'd be hilarious.
Okay.
So,
what ancestry are you?
right. Summoner, that would be the one that I hadn't prepared for.
Oh God!
What is it?
That's not your ancestry.
Charisma.
What's your ancestry?
My ancestry is going to be a variant human.
A variant human.
A variant human. Yes. I'm
Just
Gonna-
can't keep it simple, can you?
Just
keep
being
it simple.
awkward on everything here.
Hey,
I'm going to be a
Capable.
human, but I'm going
Thank-
to take the.
Thank Ondrum for the archives of Nethys.
Yeah.
So you're doing what are you doing?
I'm going to go with the Oriad still. So plane of Earth. So a plane touched human.
Yep.
Is going to be my ancestry.
Versatile heritages. Here we go.
Yes.
The plane of Earth's influence runs through an Oriad's family, most often from a Shaitan or crystal dragon ancestor. Well, it's not. You are touched by
Of
Ondrum.
Ondrum.
You are of Ondrum.
Now, where's the little bookie thing that's got everything in?
Here we go.
Ancestry.
Let's have a little
There we
look.
go.
I think my phone's about to run out of power. That's good, isn't it? Here we go.
Very angry rabbit. The beast at the end of the Holy Grail.
Because of course it's not in there.
Tear out everybody's
Except-
throats.
Ah,
It's human ancestry, isn't it?
here we go.
And then the heritage is the other bit.
Yep. Physical description. You look like you're made out of stone, some sort of.
An
Rock.
element of some kind of rocky, stony, metal thing.
You're
Yeah.
Korg. Okay.
Gain the
Just going to hop on this.
gain the
idol
Oriad
on here.
trait in addition to the traits from your ancestry. You also gain low light vision, or you gain dark vision if your ancestry already has low light vision.
See, I can't find heritages now. Would you
Oh.
just write that in?
Oh, can I?
You write that in, but there are also like drag and drop their feats, like
Okay.
ancestry feats in.
So you're
Foundry.
human,
Yep.
but you have the Oriad, and basically it's not a huge difference.
Oh,
is
there
it?
we go. Yeah, it's in the ancestry features.
Yeah.
It's a lot of them.
Yeah.
Oriad. There we go. So I'll
Excellent.
drag that across.
Cool.
Wonder where that goes. There we go. So I'm a human Oriad.
La Rue Renard. Okay, so you're a human Oriad. Excellent. So as a human, you still have their traits, which is that you have 8 hit points, your speed is 25, and you get 2 free ability boosts. Now, everyone gets to pick a number of additional languages equal to their intelligence modifier. So we do that at the end when we know what everyone's intelligence score is, and therefore what your modifier is. Not your own intelligence
Oh,
modifier.
okay, good.
Captain.
This is why I like role playing.
Okay, cool. Right. So,
You have to
and
spend your 2 boosts in separate things, don't you?
yes,
As a quick question, Pete. Sorry, I
Sure.
managed to alter it, so I've got the correct number of hit points,
cool.
and my race appears the name correctly. So what should
Excellent.
I have other than speed 30 feet and 12 hit points?
That was it, wasn't it? Common
What was
and
it? Cool.
giant languages. Common and giant. Excuse me.
Okey-dokey.
Apologies, viewers, that I'm slightly chesty.
It's the season.
It is the season. It's the season to be chesty. La 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 la. Okay, so you can all pick your ancestry feats. Aldoon, did you pick your ancestry feat?
No, I couldn't find them, Pete.
Oh,
So you know the little
in the compendiums.
The little compendium. I can find the compendium.
and then they're called ancestry features. If you click on
Yeah.
that, and then in the search, just type your race, your ancestry, and it'll filter down so you can only see the ones for your.
Okay, so I get Oriad as
then-
my feet.
I did elf.
I don't know what mine are.
So, Roger, we will sort yours out separately. Don't worry. This is one feat that you're going to get at this level, so it's not a
Okay.
huge. It's
No,
not.
that's cool. I just
It's
was
not
like
a character-breaking miss. We'll
smashing.
we'll sort that out.
Oh yeah, so I got the traits Geniekin and Oriad. Only it's not Geniekin, it's Mountainkin.
Ancestry features. Yes.
Yes,
I'm in the right
yeah.
place.
Ancestry features.
I put
Yep.
in elf. It just gives me the list of elves.
Yeah, so each one of those is a different thing. If you click on it, it'll open up.
Oh,
So
so that's the ancestry features.
But I've chosen Woodland Elf, which is also my heritage. That's why I'm
Yes.
getting confused.
Yeah. they're the
So
same.
Then you
Same
want to
thing.
go. Then you want to go into feats.
I don't want to go into food.
Yep.
Okay.
Um,
This must be fun for everyone at home.
this is
Yes.
great fun.
The
So
learning experience.
Yeah, watch us
elf.
then.
here we go. Ancestry feats.
Okay, so I'm in
Uh,
Feats. Yes.
Then drag your woodland elf over. Drop it in there.
I'm
do it.
trying to find the ancestry ones. No, it's not coming up
No.
like that. It's okay. So,
I've dragged
we want
Woodland
to
Elf
do-
over into my ancestry features. That's
Excellent.
in there. That's
and
Oh,
that
yeah.
will now give you that ability of
Okay.
the woodland elf. Then we have separately, we have feats, and I'm just trying to find the ancestry feats in here. So bear with me a second.
Oh, I
Big
see.
book.
Yeah, we do get separate ancestry feet. Ah,
We do, and they
This digital
are-
nonsense.
Yeah, it's just occasionally it's just finding where they've stacked something. Here we go.
is it going to be just under feet?
Ancestry feats. Ancestral longevity, elven law, elven weapon.
Ah, there you go.
for
There you go.
lawn, nimble elf.
Yep. In the book. There you go. That's
The
the other
worldly
alternative.
magic, unwavering mean. It's one of those words I've read, but I don't think I've ever said out loud.
Mean. Let me just check
Yes,
something.
Nightbot.
Here we go.
What have you been doing, Shadow? Too many emojis.
He's angered Nightbot.
Yes.
Right, so Ancestry Feats.
I'm quite tempted by Forlorn. I think that fits my character build.
Did you add that yourself, Dan, or did you find that Ancestry feat? Where did you find that?
Oh, me?
Yeah, you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I found it in the Ancestry Feats thing that everyone was going to look through. So I want to be an Arctic fox. So I figured that looked right. have I done it wrong?
So is that's the heritage, I assume?
You're a bright.
Oh
white
yeah, that
fox
must be the heritage thing.
in
Right.
this lovely wood environment. Okay.
So I
You've
went
got
in.
your ancestry features, and that'll be where your Arctic fox thing goes. But you also get an ancestry feat
Oh, I don't know where that is. So I
for
hadn't
being a
looked at that.
kitsune. I think they're just in the feats list.
Yeah.
Pete.
I
Yeah.
think they are.
So you're going to have to tell us what feats
I
we
think
get
they are.
access to.
Yep.
Don't they all start with your ancestry?
No, they don't, unfortunately. So elves are, I mean, as Aldine just said, ancestral longevity, elven lore, elven weapon familiarity, forlorn, nimble elf, otherworldly magic, or unwavering mien. Dwarves, you have dwarven lore,
Master.
dwarven weapon familiarity, rock runner, adept at moving across uneven surfaces, stone cunning, unburdened iron, vengeful hatred.
What?
Vengeful hatred.
Vengeful hatred.
Yeah, choose one
That's
of the
like
following.
punching
It's like
goblins, isn't it?
Ancestral
foes.
enemy kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rock runner, dwarven lore. I like the sound of them. I'm going to look up vengeful hatred.
It's a +1 bonus to damage with weapons against a type of creature.
All right.
We can discuss creature types for that one because it's got drow, durgar, giant, or orc. But giants wouldn't necessarily be the enemies of the dwarves. They'd probably be more like hobgoblins, bugbears, those kinds of things.
I'm gonna
Okay,
take
Roger,
Elven
as I said,
lore.
sorry.
I'm going to take Elven lore.
Okay,
Saying out loud.
sure. Roger, we'll sort yours out separately as I'm still fiddling around with the Jotun. Let's have a look at this. We are going to go to the feats. Okay. Oh, excuse me. Hang on. 1 minute. The one problem with selecting things that aren't in the books that I own but are in Foundry is that I don't know all of the link up between the
I'm looking at
ancestries.
the archives one.
Yep.
And there is a lot there. A hell of a lot.
Oof.
But some of them have like prerequisite traits.
Well, if you go to Kitsune, for example, does it tell you?
It doesn't know.
I've got Kitsune lore. There you go, sorted it, found it. I'm already on it.
Did it?
Okay.
Kitsune lore, which gives me diplomacy and deception as trained abilities.
Ah, very good.
There you go. Excellent. Right. Cool. And Ben, you've got the human ones.
Yeah.
You've got the book, haven't you?
Not on me.
Not on you. Okay. The human ones are adapted cantrip. If you have spell repertoire or spell book, replace one of the cantrips.
Oh yeah,
you know.
I've got Archives of Nethys open, so I can see them there. Which
Okay.
ones are okay for human?
Okay, fine. So you're going to select those.
Yes.
Well, let us know when you've selected it,
Okay.
and we'll go on to classes.
Oh,
no,
I see what I can
backgrounds,
do.
sorry,
There's a filter
backgrounds.
here. Contains human.
So there is a list in the compendiums of the backgrounds. But we have to be slightly careful because some of these are, it's got everything in it, and some of them are specific to Galarian. So anything that's got like a name like Alkenstar Outlaw, that's going to be a specific one. And I'll read off the list of ones that are in the core book to give you guys a sense of these. Now, a background will give you 2 ability boosts. One which will be like pick from 2 abilities, and another one which is free. And then it will give you training in a skill. Now, when you get a skill, you go up in the training levels, and you go. Let me just open one of these character sheets and get to the skills. Where are we? Oh, there we go. So the skill will go from untrained, where you don't have a bonus, to trained, then expert, then master, then legendary. And as you go up in those steps, you get a bigger bonus to using that skill. So it's good to get trained in your skills, and then you will get better at them. Certain tasks as well, and certain difficulties of things will require you to be a certain level of training in a skill. Like you might come across a vault, and it might say you need to have expert thievery to even try picking the lock on this vault, kind of thing. So there's some of those things as well. So the backgrounds are Acolyte, Acrobat, stop me if you hear one that you like the sound of, Animal Whisperer, Artisan, Artist, Barkeep, which Millie was going to be in the other game, Barrister, Bounty Hunter, Charlatan, Criminal.
Bounty Hunter.
Oh, Bounty Hunter. Okay. Bringing in lawbreakers lined your pockets. Maybe you had an altruistic motive, or maybe coin was motivation enough. Choose 2 ability boosts. One must be to strength or wisdom. One is a free ability boost. You don't have to take this right now. I'll just read it out to you. Get a sense of it. Yeah. You're trained in the survival skill and the legal law skill. You gain the experienced tracker skill feat.
That's kind of cute.
Okay, then there's charlatan.
Think about it.
Yep. Criminal, detective, emissary, entertainer, farmhand, field medic, fortune teller, gambler, gladiator, guard, herbalist, hermit, hunter, laborer.
Feels like it's just me at the moment. I could be looking these up myself.
Was there another one that you thought, Aldoon?
I think hunter.
Hunter. Well, it's good if I can read some things out. Otherwise, it's just 6 people reading from
reading from a screen.
reading from the archives of Nethys, because everyone's intently reading stuff, which is great. But we do need to talk to our audience a little bit.
So
Hunter
will be your foil.
So Hunter, you choose 2 ability boosts. One must be dexterity or wisdom.
Okay.
Then the other one is free.
Yet more dex.
You get trained in the survival skill, which might be handy for this game, and the tanning law skill.
And I can get wildlife to partake in surveys. So, Mr. Squirrel, how's your day?
Just fill in.
Can I just stop you for just
50,
a moment?
50 question questionnaire.
I found my ancestry one, my ancestry feat.
Okay.
I'm taking haughty obstinacy.
Oh God.
Awesome. Awesome. And what does that do for you, Ben?
Haughty obstinacy.
Oh, Jesus.
Your powerful ego makes it harder for others to order you around. If you roll a success on a saving throw against a mental effect that attempts to control your actions, you critically succeed instead. If a creature rolls a failure on a check to coerce you, it gets a critical failure instead.
Okay.
No, I'm not doing it, power.
Yeah. Great. That's going to be fun.
I don't want to. Whatever.
Okay. So after Hunter.
Yeah, we got to Hunter.
We've got Labourer, Martial Disciple.
Is Martial like a Texas Ranger kind of martial thing?
No, like combat.
Studying
to
like
become
the sound of that one.
You like the sound of that one? Studying to become a great warrior. The school you attended might have been a traditionalist monastery, an elite military academy. Could have been a Cadrathis academy. Kudrathis is the god of organized military and tactical warfare. So it could be that you went to a monastery of Kudrathis.
Although I think there's a different god that I wanted to follow. I think.
Oh, what god did you want to follow?
Theodris.
Oh yeah.
Theodris.
Yep.
I can't remember the
go
exact name of it.
You could have trained in one of the temples, or Thedoros, I think.
Thedoros. I don't know. I think I put it on my sheet somewhere. Thedoros.
There you go, Thedoros, who is the half-orc god of kind of competition and that kind of thing.
I think you put like raiding and mead, and that sounded.
Yeah, flying skyships and competition and mead and that kind of stuff.
You sold me at mead.
Yeah, mead. Yeah, and that would be perfect. You know, you'd be a martial disciple, drinking in the halls, fighting in the kind of mock battles, flying skyships, and then heading down to Arlorn to like.
That's to one side for now, in case something cooler turns up.
Okay, cool. Well, the martial disciple would give you a boost to either strength or dexterity, and then a free one.
Cool.
You're trained in your choice of acrobatics or athletics, and you gain a skill feat: catfall if you choose acrobatics, or quick jump if you choose athletics. You're also trained. I would have to look it up.
You don't have to do a run up, I think. Catfall is quite useful because it means you don't take falling damage.
See, that would be a really cool one for a gunslinger. You could jump through the air while firing 2 guns at the same time.
It would be great for a Jotun to have catfall, wouldn't it? See an 8-foot huge guy fall out of a tree and then just land down.
Superhero landing.
Yeah. And warfare law skill. So that's an option.
Sounds pretty good.
So we've got after that we've got merchant, miner, noble.
I wanted chat to pick noble for me, but they picked gambler.
Oh, okay.
Got a gambling dwarf.
Okay, let's go back to gambler for a second. So as gambler, you get 2 ability boosts. One must be dexterity or charisma.
Yep.
I'm guessing you're not going to put your charisma up.
No, I have.
Oh, you have? Wow.
Yeah.
Swashbuckler.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Sorry. And one is a free ability boost.
So I basically it doesn't I can also up my dexterity as well, right? I don't have to, because I picked charisma, not pick dexterity.
No, you can do that. Yeah, you can.
Yeah. So I've upped my dex and upped my charisma.
Okay. So you get trained in deception.
Mm-hmm.
And the games law skill. So there'll be law, and you can put games law.
Yep.
You gain the lie to me skill feat.
Yeah.
Do you know what that does?
You can use deception to weave traps and trip up anyone trying to deceive you. If you can engage in conversation with someone trying to lie to you, use your deception DC if it is higher than your perception DC to determine whether they succeed.
Interesting.
This doesn't apply if you don't have a back and forth dialogue.
Okay. But it's like they're trying to con man kind of thing.
On the corner, yeah. Yeah. So I'm gonna be a gambling, lying dwarf swashbuckler. Loving it.
Okay, so our Dune gunsmith has popped up.
It's in the forge.
That's fine. That's fine.
Okay.
You will have to have trained in the gnomish city of Neckelvang.
That's fine.
Which is a stalactite city that hangs down from the underhang of Glorim.
Awesome.
And actually, skyships come down from there and trade with the cities of Nolos and Erelos.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not unknown that you could have gone there, come back, done the training, learnt about guns, how to build guns.
Yeah. I think that makes sense for my gunslinger build.
Yeah, absolutely. Cool. So it's more of a technical gunslinger.
Yeah. Well, you need to be able to maintain these things, especially out in the wilds when you don't have a handy gnome to fix it for you.
Also, aren't elves like the folks who are like, if I haven't trained in this for 70 years, I'm barely an initiate.
I have no idea what I'm doing. Yeah.
That is true. Okay. So you get intelligence or dex, and then a free one.
Yep.
So you probably put both of those up, haven't you?
Oh,
Or you don't have to. You can diversify.
that's true. I don't know. I'll have a look. I might put one in con, just for not dying.
Oh, that might be handy.
Yeah, it might.
You're trained in the crafting skill and the engineering law skill. You gain the quick repair skill feat.
Yep, that sounds useful. I can see
You
my
take
gun
1
going
minute
wrong.
to repair an item. If you're a master in crafting, it takes 3 actions. If you're legendary, it takes 1 action.
I just winked
Wow.
at it. It's winked.
So you just like,
and it's fine. Yeah.
that's cool. One thing I do like about Foundry is when you find the right thing, it's all there. And if it links to another thing, there's a link. You click on it, takes you to the feat. You don't have to. You're not flipping around pages and everything. Okay, let's have a look. Keep going down this list. Nomad, prisoner, sailor, scholar. Sailor can include sky ships, by the way. Scout, street urchin, tinker, warrior. I don't know if you wanted to go for warrior, Roger, rather than martial disciple. Martial disciple's quite intense training and rigorous study, whereas warrior is you've been in battle and learnt it like in the field kind of thing.
Yeah, I'm just having a look at the two. Martial, I think the martial discipline one looks a bit cooler than warrior.
Okay, and you want to have like trained in like with the faithful of Thedoros, that being part of your background.
Yeah, I think that's sounding cooler. The coolest one so far.
Okay, cool, great. Dan, how are you doing? Have you looked through the background?
Yeah, I've looked through the backgrounds. I've decided to go noble. Kind of fits with her character a little bit more. It'll also explain her accent a bit later. So yeah, I've gone with noble. I think I'm pitching her as a court oracle. So
interesting.
And I've gone with, obviously, you get to choose between intelligence and charisma. I've gone charisma because that's my main stat for being an oracle as well. And then I also use my free one to up dexterity as well. So very fast, very charismatic. Otherwise, I'm just normal.
Okay, great. And you've got genealogy law or heraldry law.
I will do heraldry law.
Cool.
That one.
And you gain the courtly graces skill feat.
Yep. And I get trained in society, but I was already trained in it, so it goes up to expert now, doesn't it? If I was already trained in it goes up another level. Is that how it works?
I think so. Let's have a no, hang on. It says you instead become trained in another skill of your choice.
Okay.
I think because it doesn't want your skill level to get too high.
I was thinking. I was looking at it, and +5 looked a little bit.
Awesome.
Yeah, it did a little bit.
Oh right, okay. So we've got. Oh right, okay, cool.
I shall choose another one, and bear with me while I look at my things to see what I decided to go with.
Ben, have we got a background?
Got 8.
8.
Managed to narrow it down to 8.
I have 8 backgrounds. That's
Okay.
against
I
the
know.
rule.
Reel off your list of 8.
Archaeologist, blessed, chosen one, energy scarred, feral child, genie blessed, magical experiment, or royalty.
Have we got a noble?
I think archaeologist would be quite a good one.
Says Pete, trying to take me out of all the funky ones.
No, because of the.
I agree. That was why I saw archaeologist. But
the setting,
archaeologist is
but
right
also-
up there in A.
But also because of your of Ondrum, and
Yeah.
it's like you're reclaiming.
Well, that was also why blessed and genie blessed were in there.
Let's
Also
see what
magical
graces you're going
experiment.
for. Okay.
Well, let's take
Blessed.
feral child out then, because that one doesn't fit, and we'll take
Yeah,
chosen
you did that in
one out.
Dodeca, didn't you?
I did feral child. That's a good point. Well made. So we're down to 4.
Okay. How many things can you have in a poll?
You can have more than 4. Yeah, hang on.
Whack those 4 in a
5,
poll.
wasn't it?
Let's get this
Yeah.
show on the road.
All right.
Oh,
so
no, you're
Someone
right.
said.
It's 5. So we've got archaeologist.
Ooh.
We've got
I'll give you some
blessed.
pointers there if you like.
Well, that's the other problem with playing an archaeologist is we've actually got one.
It
Blessed,
can be a helpful experience, a
Yeah.
collaborative experience.
blessed
Um,
child. Yeah.
No, it won't.
The archaeologist, blessed, energy scarred,
Energy scarred.
Oh,
Wow.
Yeah.
that sounds amazing.
genie blessed,
No, not that one.
or magical experiment.
Oh, probably that one. Do I get to
Okay,
vote
so
again?
you get you gain resistance to a type of energy. Interesting.
There we go.
Wow, energy scar.
Right, so we've got a poll going on
Yeah.
Oh,
in the
look at that
chat.
one.
Exciting. I'm,
I wonder who just voted for archaeologist.
I wonder.
Not me.
Come on, chat, get in there and vote on
Oh, they are.
Ben's background.
It's
Okay,
happening. Oh, it's a fight. Oh.
So,
We've got a lead. Oh, we've got a different lead.
who?
Oh, crikey.
Oh, blimey, that just
Flippin'
leapt
heck.
up.
Yeah, I found out how to turn off the alert every time I spend groats. Now I can just spaff the button.
Good Lord.
I have so many groats.
Yes, looking good for energy
I think it's
scarred.
going to be energy scarred, isn't it?
You reckon? I could spend it on something else if you like.
A few seconds to go. It's energy scarred.
Energy scarred. 56%.
2,500 goblet groats on that.
Well, that's
Well
cool.
worth it.
Well worth.
There we go. Energy scarred. 2 ability boosts, constitution, and a free one.
Oh god, I haven't done that bit yet. Oh,
And then you gain. Your innate magical trait is primal. So you're just a primal magical creature.
we've known that for a while now.
And then you choose acid, cold, electricity, fire, force, negative, positive, or sonic.
And
you get resistance.
Sonic.
You're
See,
energy
I know
scarred
it's
by
not power
Sonic.
gamey. If I was being power gamey, I'd take one of the power gamey ones.
Sure.
But I'm a rock creature.
Yeah, you're crystalline. You want
Crystalline, partly
resistance to
crystalline, so I'm
those
taking sonic.
shattering sonic waves. I like it. Cool.
So if you meet a really loud bard, you're in trouble.
No, I get resistance to
Oh, okay.
sonic.
Now you're fine. Okay.
Resistance of half your level.
I mean, yeah, if you were going to take something that's going to hit you regularly, then you'd take fire
Sure.
or negative and be like, haha, suck it, undead. But nope, I'm taking sonic.
Okay, cool. So we have a gunsmith without doing. Roger, have you decided on yours?
Yeah, martial discipline, athletics.
Martial disciple, athletics.
one.
Cool.
Sorry.
Millie,
Oh,
it's all right. Millie, what was your background? Gambler.
Gambler.
Okay. We then have the energy scarred Ben and the noble. Interesting group. Interesting
Noble
group.
fox person.
Noble fox person.
Fabulous.
Okay.
Countess La Renard.
Okay. Not countess. You'd be the same rank as the leader of
I was thinking that.
Barbarian.
Yeah, it's more of an honorary title, I
Yeah.
think, for Dan's character, though. It's
Yeah.
not necessarily recognised on this plane.
Yeah, maybe it's one of the courts of the of Glorim. So you're like a Fey court member, like a minor member, or your family were, and some of that honorific is passed on to you.
Love it.
Cool. Okay. So let's go with our champion. We've got a champion, haven't we?
Yeah.
Hey, champion.
Hey, champ. How you feeling?
So You're an
Being a
emissary.
proper champion, man.
You
Oh, we
are-
haven't even got to accents yet. Ooh, that's where the fun really starts.
Oh dear.
That's why people tune in, Pete.
I know. It's all right. I have to appear to be annoyed by it all. You are an emissary of a deity, a devoted servant who has taken up a weighty mantle, and you have a code that holds you apart from those around you. Your key ability, you have to pick strength or dexterity, and you get a boost in it.
I will pick strength. I
Okay.
think that seems far more fitting.
What's your strength now as we get to this
It's currently
stage?
14, so it
14?
goes up to 16.
Yeah. There you go. And you gain 10 more hit points and your constitution modifier.
Yeah, it's upped it already.
It's
So I'm
already
now
done
on
it.
23.
Where does one
23
put
hit
one's
points.
magic type?
It's a trait. You just put it in as a trait, I think. Okay, so you are trained in perception.
Oh, hang on. Skills.
This is where it all starts happening.
It's
all happening.
Perception was that?
Yep, trained in perception. Perception is like its own separate thing on the side. Let me open a
Yes.
character sheet
Oh,
so
it's
I
put
can-
+3. I'm assuming that's because I'm trained.
Yes, so when you're trained, you get a +2 and your level added on. Yeah.
Yeah, so I
So
think
that's
it's
a
done that
+3.
bit automatically.
Cool, good, should do. You're then saving throws. You are an expert in fortitude, trained in reflex, and expert in will. Okay. For skills, you are then trained in religion, and one skill determined by your choice of deity, which I believe is in the Pantheon thing that I shared with you on Discord. It's probably acrobatics or athletics, considering.
I don't know.
I'll find that for you, don't worry. And then you trained it in a number of.
If it is athletics, do I go up from trained to expert or?
I don't think so.
Oh, so I'll just miss out on that.
I think you just get to pick a different skill if that's the case.
Okay, cool.
I'll just check.
That's fine. You
but-
can look that up later.
Yeah, we'll figure that bit out later. That's no problem. So let me have a look. We're talking about. Did I pin that to the thing? Did I pin that? Yeah, I did. Here we go. So Theodoros is athletics.
That's the one I've already got.
Okay. So pick another one for now. And then you get a number of additional skills equal to 2 plus your intelligence modifier.
So 2 more.
You're trained in simple weapons, martial weapons, and unarmed attacks, and you're trained in all armor and unarmored defense. So basically, all combat stuff.
Apart from advanced weapons.
Apart from advanced weapons, but yeah. You're also trained in champion class DC. Now, what that is sometimes you'll have an effect that a creature will have to save against, and your champion class DC.
Oh, it's a bit
will
like
be the
spell
num-
save.
Exactly.
Cool. I mean, what are advanced weapons? Is that stuff like guns, or does stuff like big 2-handed swords come under that?
This is a good question. And let's have a look. Group. I think it's like more complicated stuff than that. Advanced weapons are things like the gnome flick mace, the orc neck splitter, the sawtooth saber.
So there are
Weird.
specific ancestry
very
weapons.
weird weapons.
Yes,
Cool,
yeah,
okay.
the dwarven war axe, which I think is like it's got an axe at each end.
Or is that the
Like
double-headed one?
Batworth.
And there's a
Yeah.
war pick as well, which I've always quite fancied. I thought that was a
Yeah.
lot of fun.
Yeah, things like that.
But yeah, so some things you get access to so gnomes will get access to certain gnomish weapons because of their ancestry feats. But if you have advanced weapons, you get the whole bunch.
Yep.
You get all kinds of crazy weaponry.
And you're trained in divine spell attacks and divine spells DCs. You'll also get a champion feat.
I'm not sure where I can see that on my sheet. I saw where the class DC thing was. I didn't see the others.
Pete's coughing.
Yeah.
Please hold.
What were
I
we
think it's
looking-
just for now. We just know that you're a divine spellcaster, so that's what we need to worry about.
Okie doke.
Cool. Okay. You then get, have you opened up the class in Foundry?
Yes.
So you'll see the class features. So you've got your ancestry and background all sorted out, your initial proficiencies, which you just went through. You get your champion's code, deity and cause, deific weapon, champion's reaction, devotion spells, champion feat, and shield block. These are all special abilities that are then detailed just below. The one I think we should talk about is the champion's code. You follow a code of conduct beginning with tenets shared by all champions of an alignment, such as good, and continuing with tenets of your cause. So your deity
It's chaotic good, I think.
is chaotic good, so you'll follow the tenets of good. You must never perform acts anathema to your deity or willingly commit an evil act such as murder, torture, or the casting of an evil spell. You must never knowingly harm an innocent or allow immediate harm to one through inaction when you know you could reasonably prevent it. And also if you look at your deity, there is a portfolio listing with a number of keywords, and they kind of represent the activities that they want to foster.
Is that on the thing on Discord?
That's on the Pantheon sheet that
Wow.
If anyone wants to find out more about my setting, then do feel free to join the Discord and come chat in our Pathfinder channel. I think the deific weapon for Thedaros is a battle axe. And deity and cause, depending on if you are chaotic good, then that will make you a liberator.
Is there somewhere to put all of this stuff, or?
Yeah, I mean it's just all listed. If you just scroll down in champion, it's all listed.
Oh
in
no,
there.
no, I meant is there somewhere to
When
put
you
it on the
drag
sheet?
champion into the character sheet, it should
It
add
should do all that for you.
dung 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 dung.
Should.
It'll put it in your
Okay.
class features.
Updates a bunch of stuff.
Yep.
Andy.
Cool.
That is on the sheet, but I'll nod and smile.
That's okay. I think you just drag and drop it into your character sheet.
Yeah, I've done that. I've done the dragging champion in.
Yep. And then if you go to, where are we?
Go to the
The
Feats
it looks
tab.
like a little medal. Feats.
Ah, yes, I
Yep.
see.
Then it's kind of stacked a whole load of stuff in there.
Yeah.
That's cool. So, Aldoon, how are you
Yes.
doing?
Hello. I'm fine. Thank you, Pete, for asking.
Clip Killhaven.
Yes,
Interesting name.
that's my name.
Right. So, you are going to be a gunslinger.
Yes, that is correct.
So, let's close that. Get classes out. Gunslinger, another one where I don't have it in a book, but we do have it on Foundry.
Soz.
No, it's fine. It's all here. So you boost your dexterity at first level.
I thought it was Dex or Int.
It says key ability dexterity.
Oh,
Class gives you an ability boost to dexterity.
yeah. Pardon me.
It's
I
all right.
will shut up.
Hit points 8 plus your Constitution modifier.
Yay.
Yay!
Which I've now
So
fixed.
Some hit
Back to
point
10.
stuff.
Cause.
Cool. You get expert in perception, which is
Yes,
pretty
do.
cool. Expert in fortitude, reflex, and trained in will.
Yep.
Then trained in one or more skill determined by your gunslinger's way.
Yes. I will be choosing the way of the sniper.
Oh. Just so everyone knows, there's way of the drifter, way of the pistolero, way of the sniper, and way of the vanguard. So drifter is wander across the battlefield at home in and out of the fray. Pistolero, maintain your distance at duelist 10 paces with pistol in hand. Sniper, I think we can all guess what a sniper's about. And the vanguard, you rely on a brutal combat style that uses heavy weapons and explosive attacks.
I must admit, way of the vanguard does look hilarious.
I think that's the one I would go for. Dwarven vanguard.
Yeah, that's your kind of dwarf carrying a cannon. It's not a hand cannon, it's a cannon.
Absolutely. So do you want to whack all your starting proficiencies in?
Yes.
So we can kind of get around some of the others.
I have done that.
Okay, cool. And then you're trained in light and medium armor, unarmored defense, and your gunslinger class DC. So you've got your gunslinger's way and singular expertise.
Yep.
Bonus to damage with firearms and crossbows. You can't get to the same heights with other weapons though.
No.
But that's fine. You've got guns.
I'll focus on my guns.
And you get a gunslinger class feat. So if you have a look at those and pick one of those.
Okay.
Cool. Excuse me for a moment.
Chat, pick my character's name.
Oh, I had a question actually about Gunslinger. The way of the sniper talks about how you practice the style of shooting that relies on unerring accuracy and perfect placement of your first shot. And it has a number of sort of fun things that come with it. So Slinger's Reload, which is a covered reload, so I can go into hiding and reload, which is useful. And then it has Deeds, and my initial one is a one-shot, one-kill, which basically adds damage to my first shot, and then they get better as I get better. And it has a way skill of stealth. So does that mean I get trained in stealth?
You probably get trained in stealth.
Okay, cool.
The gunslinger ways are described in detail on page 108.
Of what?
Of the Guns and Gears book.
Oh, Aaron.
Yeah.
Aaron.
It's okay. Brusilka the Ruddy Amazing.
Brusilka the Ruddy Amazing.
I love it.
Oh,
that is brilliant.
Fabulous.
Okay, so we've got our way of the sniper. That's great. So you pick a feat. We'll come back round to you when you've picked your feat and stuff, and we can do a little synopsis of each kind of character. Dan, you've been sitting patiently there. How is your kitsune?
It's coming together nicely. So I'm an oracle.
Let's get oracle out, shall we?
Yeah, and that gave me a boost to my charisma. So I'm very charismatic. I haven't done I'm trying to follow the little thing on my Foundry to sort of run through it all. So I haven't done, it says I get 3 skills plus my intelligence modifier. Well, I don't have an intelligence modifier because I'm not actually that smart. So I need to pick 3 skills for that. On my mystery, I have picked ancestors. So basically there's a load of people talking in my head.
Shouted out by your nan.
Basically.
I like it.
Which is what gave me my society trained. It also gives me a cantrip guidance, and then a revelation spell of ancestral touch, and then it gets obviously better as we go along later. But it also has a curse. So if I use any of my revelation spells, I move through the curse process.
Yeah.
So I'm a minor curse. I have to basically roll a dice, and I get stuck onto one of these ancients, and I can only really do that action. If I want to try an action outside of that, I have to do a DC test, depending on what scale I'm in with my curse.
It literally is your nan shouting at you.
It's
Don't
basically
do it like this.
You don't want to do it like that now.
No, you're doing it wrong.
So I just need to put in my 3 extra skills, and then I don't think there's anything else I need to add to my character.
Okay, great. And you've got as an oracle, you get trained in perception, fortitude, reflex, expert will,
Expert will. Yeah.
and simple weapons and light armor. So you
Yeah.
have some combat stuff, and
Yeah.
you're a divine caster.
Divine caster, and I have no idea what I've got to do for the magic stuff, but I'm sure we'll cover that at some point.
That's fine. There will be a where are we? Divine spell casting. I think, doesn't your mystery decide what? You might just be a cult. We'll figure that out.
Yeah.
Okay, Ben or Millie, who wants to give us a rundown next?
I'm ready.
Okay, let's go.
Chat, we've been productive. Got a character going on here. All right, so Rasilka the Ruddy Amazing, right? She's probably northern. Face it. So we've picked Swashbuckler. The one thing I'm not sure, so it says hit points is 10 plus your Constitution modifier. Do we get an extra 10 on top of the ones I got for being a dwarf?
Yes.
So does that make me? That'll make me 20
something.
21. Yeah. Right, cool. Right. So
Your Constitution could still go up because you get more boosts in a minute.
Oh,
so,
cool.
So it might go a little bit further.
So because I'm a Swashbuckler, I got a boost to Dexterity, which puts me at Dex 16, which is good.
Nice.
And then I am an expert in perception, trained in fortitude, expert in reflex, and expert in will. I'm trained in acrobatics, which just to me sounds hilarious.
I think dwarves would be powerful vaulters, don't you?
Yeah. Yeah. So I have +6 to my acrobatics.
Awesome. You're like one of the dwarves out of The Hobbit.
Yeah. Throw me. Yeah. We had a poll for my swashbuckler style. I was either going to go with wit or braggart. Chat have chose braggart, which I kind of think fits with the gambling.
Oh, I think you should go gymnast style, don't you?
Nope. We're going. Chat have picked. So she's
braggart. You boast, taunt, and psychologically needle your foes. You are trained in intimidation. You gain panache during an encounter when you successfully demoralize a foe. Okay, cool. Demoralize is a handy action to not get a third attacks often have big penalties, so demoralize is a handy thing to use.
Yep. Pick that. And then I got an additional 4 skills. Plus my intelligence modifier, which is 0, so I don't get any more. We've picked, what did we pick? Society, thievery, stealth, and I think it was diplomacy, but that either diplomacy or deception, one of the two.
So what's your character's charisma?
It is 10.
Okay.
10?
Cool. No, I just it sounded like you were making the face character.
Well, maybe we'll get there in a bit, but believing in yourself is a big part of.
I think it's going to be Roger's Jotun who's going to be
face character.
Yeah,
love it.
You're so screwed.
Hello down there.
Yeah.
And then I'm trained in like simple weapons, martial weapons, unarmed, cool. Light armor, and unarmored.
Okay.
And then yeah, that's pretty much everything
Excellent.
I've got. I do like I get precise strike and confident finisher.
Yeah.
Those sound cool.
Yeah. A finishing attack you can make when you have panache. So you like build up panache that you can use.
Oh, that's a question. It says here I get a swashbuckler feat. Is that as well as my swashbuckling style?
Yes.
All right, so I need to pick a swashbuckler. So
there'll be a little set of swashbuckler feats for you to pick from.
All right.
There's like 4 or 5. And what you'll find is as you go through, there'll be like a chain of feats. So certain feats will allow you to open up later ones as you go. So you can kind of specialize in this particular style of being a swashbuckler. Okay, right, Ben. What craziness has ensued? We've gone summoner, haven't we?
Yes, we've gone summoner. Crystal Stein.
Crystal Stein, is that the character's name?
Yeah.
Or an option you've picked?
No, that's the character's
I don't know
name.
at this stage.
It's hard to tell. A human Oread energy scarred summoner.
Awesome.
Now, human gives me a lot of flexibility in what I spend my boosts in.
Mm-hmm.
Summoner gives me a boost in charisma. Energy scarred gives me a boost in charisma. So I've got a charisma of 16 and a constitution of 14 at the minute.
Nice. Okay, cool. Very cool.
Primal magic.
Mm-hmm.
What other stuff have I got to play
Trained
with?
in perception, expert in fortitude, trained in reflex, expert
Yep,
in will.
got those. One sonic resistance.
So that one in sonic resistance means whenever I do sonic damage to you, you reduce it by 1.
Never.
And that is
when
half.
does sonic damage ever actually happen?
Well, now you've got sonic resistance. I'm going to have some sonic stuff in there.
That's
aren't
true.
That's
I have trained in sonic lore as a skill, so I know all about how to run around that loop thing and collect all the little rings. Features, I have the Ancestry feature Oriad.
Cool.
Do class features, summoner spellcasting, spell repertoire, link spells, evolution feat, Eidolon. My other Ancestry feat is Haughty Obstinacy, which doesn't appear in Ancestry, but is further down there. And that's as far as I've got thus far.
Okay. So your Eidolon is connection with a powerful and usually otherworldly entity called an Eidolon.
Yes.
You can use your life force as a conduit to manifest this ephemeral entity into the mortal world.
Now, where do I find the Eidolon thing?
Choose a type of Eidolon.
I am having the god one.
Page 59.
Well, there's an angel one and there's a god one, but the only ones I could find, and the god one seems more appropriate.
Yes.
I don't know where to find that or how to apply it.
You manifest Eidolon action. Your Eidolon is named it action. I think in the two of you work together and coordinate your actions. You and your Eidolon share your actions and multiple attack penalty. Each round you can use any of your actions for yourself or your Eidolon. Means you both share a single pool of hit points. Damage taken by either you or the Eidolon reduces your hit points, while healing either of you recovers your hit points. Wow. So it's kind of literally part of you. It's literally brought into existence by your life force. This is cool. I like it. So I have 2 ways of killing you now.
Yeah.
So that's good.
You can kill me or my Pokemon.
Yeah, the god one sounds relevant, and maybe you've got like a mini Ondrum.
Yeah, so it's a god caller. I was thinking like a rock serpent kind of thing that kind of I conjure it up out of the ground.
Cool.
And it's this sort of energy linked bundle
like a sandworm.
Of stones. Not quite like a sandworm, no, more like a
rockworm.
More like an Aztec dragon.
Oh, okay, cool. I like it. Yeah.
Kind of vibe. So it's loads of disconnected bits of stone held together by a pattern of energy that kind of rips its way up from the ground.
Look like the segments of the serpent. Okay, I like it.
So skill-wise, athletics, intimidation, nature, and survival.
Okay.
I've already forgotten them. Trained athletics. Trained intimidation. Trained nature, trained survival.
Well, this is quite handy. Because of the magic you draw from your Eidolon, you can usually replace material components from your spells with somatic components. So you don't need a material component pouch.
Good, because I hate
each
material components.
Each day you can cast 1 first level spell and 5 cantrips. You must know spells to cast them, and you learn them via the spell repertoire class feature. And the spell repertoire, collection of spells you cast, is called your spell repertoire. At first level, you learn 2 first level spells of your choice and 5 cantrips of your choice. Cool. So you know 2 first level spells, and every day you can cast 1 of them. Yep.
5 times
and they're
cantrips.
From the tradition corresponding to your Eidolon.
Right. And that's the God Caller one?
Yep.
Beast Eidolon. It's a manifestation of the life force of nature in the form of a powerful magical beast.
Must be primal then.
Yes.
Yeah. which again ties into your energy scarred.
Yeah. I think it all sort of links together in this child being abandoned in a cave on the mountain, and
Cool.
the mountain taking pity on the child. So it's like, in some ways, a bit like the raised by wolves thing, but raised by the actual mountain.
Cool. I like it.
And then I
Yeah.
can take Beast's Charge. Ooh. So yeah, it kind of lashes out, strides twice, and strikes.
Wicked.
Nice.
That's good.
That's the initial ability. And the symbiosis power looks like if I bond with it, we can shout at things and scare the poop out of them.
I'll look into whether or not I need to create an actor in Foundry for. We'll probably need a little token and stats and stuff for your Eidolon as well, so we
Yeah.
can get that all sorted out.
Looks like I get Sylvan as an additional language.
Oh, because of that. Okay. Yep. That'll be a Glorim originating language.
But if you think it's more appropriate to have it as a different one, for it being
You
Ondrum,
could take
that's
Dwarven or
fine.
Giant. It's up to you. Probably Dwarven would be.
Where do languages even go?
Of
Page.
No,
page.
languages box.
Front page.
Little blue
I'm being helpful.
plus. I haven't
Oh, yeah,
picked
there it
all
is.
of mine yet.
So there we go. We'll take Dwarven then.
Okay.
Common and Dwarven, because those are the only two ones. This will work.
I found that quite offensive
So
as a health.
As a health. Aren't you a Welf? A Woodland Elf.
We like to call ourselves leaf folk.
Oh, okay. So a leaf folk. I like that. That's cool. Okay.
So I've got my proficiencies for my class
Mhm.
and my my background.
That's cool.
Do I get a feat?
You get one
I do. I
summoner. You get a
get a
summoner feat. Okay.
Okay, I will find a summoner feat then.
Right. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to finalize everyone's ability scores. So you should have had. They were all 10 at the beginning. You got some from your ancestry, some from your background, and some from your class. A, B, C. I like that. So make sure you've added all of those, and then you get 4 more boosts to your character ability scores. Remember that each ability boost adds 2 to the base score. You should have no ability score lower than 8 or higher than 18 at the end of this process. So 4 more boosts, 4 more plus 2s.
What now?
Yeah.
Now, after
right.
you've done your class, you get
On
4
top
more
of everything
boosts
else.
on top of
Well,
everything
there's
else.
all the other ones we've got.
Pathfinder is heroic.
Okay.
Yeah, that's true. We will also be terrible.
Yeah, there's that as well.
I'm assuming if you add intelligence at this point, you don't get more skills.
Yes, you would.
Oh, you do get more skills.
Yeah.
Yep.
Is Pathfinder a bit like a computer game in the sense of you get more skills based on your intelligence as you level up, or is it just at the start?
It
I'm just trying to
depends on your
establish the value of
your-
intelligence as a character.
depends on your class. I think at certain levels you get to add skill increases. At 3rd level and every 2 levels thereafter, you gain a skill increase. You can use this increase either to increase your proficiency rank to train in one skill you're untrained in. So no, it's not. I think that's
So it's just a creation.
beginning. I think that's
Yeah.
a beginning thing.
This is not Fallout.
It's
It's
worth
not.
asking.
It's not.
Oh, yeah.
It's not 3rd edition D&D
Oh,
where you'd get 2 plus your intelligence modifier every level or whatever it was in skill points. And Pathfinder 1st edition was like that as well. So they
Okay,
would have
yeah.
those.
cool.
I'm going to break tradition with an elf and pump up that con.
Ooh, wow.
So
Because
as a champion, I'm guessing strength is very important for me, given that's my
Yeah, strength
God's
for your
favoured
combat
thing.
and charisma for your
Schmoozing.
spells, I think.
And do your stats go up later in play as well?
Oh yes, yeah.
Yeah.
So there's two ways of doing stat increases actually, and I use an alternative method, which is in the Games Mastery Guide, which I will explain to you now. Ability score variance 182. Now, what happens is that you get to increase your scores at higher levels. Where are we? Gradual ability boost. Now, normally what happens is you would get 4 boosts at 5th level, 10th level, 15th level, and 20th level. Yeah. Instead, what we do is at 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th, you get a boost. So it's as you go along. Because I think 4 boosts, that's 4 plus 2s.
Mhm.
It's a lot to get on one level.
Yep.
So I do the gradual ability boosts, which is on
And do
page
your max
182.
stats increase, or is it always 18 as the cap?
I need to have a look. I'll have a look on the
Because obviously
ability.
that's a lot of boosts, and that would probably just take everyone to
I think you can
18 everything.
beyond. Here we go.
Sorry, I know it's a bit of an awkward
No.
question.
No, don't worry. Don't worry. It's in each class. I think it's their level 5 ability.
All right, let's have a look.
Here we go. Fifth ability boosts. At 5th level, every 5 levels or after you boost 4 different ability scores. You can use these ability boosts to increase your ability scores above 18. Boosting your ability score increases it by 1 if it's already 18 or above, or by 2 if it starts out below 18.
Cool. So,
So once you go above
one will
18,
only
your
increase
boosts
it by
become
1 point.
1 point.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So what you'll see is that the numbers get big. Yeah. So you start off with your level adds on to everything you do. So you'll be trained in something +2. You're level 1 +1. You add your strength modifier, for example, for fighting in hand-to-hand combat, which might be 2 or 4. So you're talking about +7. At 5th level, you'll be an expert +4 in things with +5 for your level, with +8 for your stat. So the numbers get quite big. Luckily, we're using Foundry, and all of that is done for you. So that's very good. And it means that it's kind of heroic, big, powerful role play. The reason they've done that is that they wanted to have it so that when you got to 10th level, if you fought 1st level creatures, you could just with a whip of your hand, dispatch them, and that kind of replicated. There is a variant rule method where you do it without adding the level number. You have to do a couple of other rejigs around, but basically it kind of flattens the maths and makes everyone a bit more, so 6th level creatures might risk it with 2nd level monsters, whereas with the basic rules, you'd be pretty hench compared to them. Cool. Okay, so has everyone added your 4 boosts to your ability scores?
Yeah, I think I've just got to do spells and equipment.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now.
So we'll get 15 gold pieces, which is 150 silver pieces. It's good to think of silver pieces as being the equivalent to what you'd normally think of as gold in Dungeons and Dragons.
So what do you say, 15 gold?
15 gold pieces, which is 100. You actually have 150 silver pieces to spend on armor, weapons, and other basic equipment. Now, one good thing they've done is that in the equipment section, there's in the book. So I'm not sure if it appears in the
class kits are, yeah.
Class kits are in there. Okay, cool. Because the class kits are easy shortcuts to I want to get an adventuring pack, grappling hook, sheath for my sword, a great sword, a bow, blah, blah, blah. Here you go. I'll buy the fighter class kit and I get all that stuff. I don't have to do all them independently.
Oh no, spells don't show up in like levels.
Surely
So
you can filter it on
we
level.
just use those 15 gold to basically buy our starting equipment.
Yes, buy your starting gear.
Shopping.
Shopping. We'll do that between sessions.
Oh no, everyone loves to watch shopping.
Well, it might be interesting to know what people's major weapons and armor are, but how many candles you've got and how many feet of hempen rope, not necessarily.
All of this is critical to the success of the party.
It is.
How many hand cannons?
Well,
can
now
I
remember, we
buy?
are doing a hex crawl, so we will be checking arrows and we will be doing rations because traveling across the wilderness will be an important part of this. And we
Oh, I should have got hunter. Damn it.
Would stuff like survival help with catching
Yes.
food? Okay.
Yeah. So there are a few Hex Crawl mechanics and a couple of my own that come into this. And basically, when you move around between hexes, you get a certain number of, and let me just get to the right page so I can tell you that their correct name. Get a certain number of, that page? It's 170. Hexploration activities per day, and you guys get one hexploration activity per day. And that you can basically do a series of actions. You can do travel, you can do reconnoiter. I've slightly expanded the list slightly in a document on my computer, but basically it enables you to do stuff once per day. You can force yourself to generate another hexploration activity, but you can only use that for travel, and that's so if you do like a forced march. Now, depending the hex you're moving into or moving out of, it dictates how many hexploration activities it is to move through. If it's open terrain, such as plains, it takes one activity. If it's difficult terrain, such as forests or hills, it's 2 activities. And if it's greater difficult terrain, like mountains or swamps or something, ravines or something, then it would be 3 activities. So a mountains tile could take you, if you didn't push yourself, 3 days to move through. You can reconnoiter a hex as well, and that takes the same number of activities as it would to move through to search. So basically, when you reconnoiter a hex, you spend a number of days doing it, and then we make a reconnoiter roll based on perception, and whoever's the best perception in the party can make the roll. That's fine. And then if you're successful, you've found something special about that hex. If there's a marked feature on something, then you don't need to make a reconnoiter roll. Like you don't need to roll to find the lake or the ruins, for example. But what might happen is that there may be some of those tiles might change. We might put some little symbols over them to represent, oh, you found a ruined tower here in an old residential area of dwarven homes under these vines and things over here, etc. So we'll need to count how many days you're out in the field doing stuff, and you'll need rations for doing that, which is more my point. And if you have the right gear, then you'll get bonuses to anything like subsist rolls you might have to make. If you run out of food, you'll need to subsist on the land that you're in, and each type of terrain in my new stat block system will have a subsist DC that you roll against as the survival roll to get enough food and shelter to survive there for the day. So you want to have supplies so that you don't have to worry too much about that. While you're off exploring, the teams that you have back at the base can generate work points. A team of dockhands, as they are in the Games Mastery Guide, but they're basically laborers. They can generate 1 work point per day. When you find new ruins, once you've cleared them out, and effectively we do like a little dungeon or an adventure, or we get there and then we switch from exploration to right now we're doing a bit of an encounter. You then, once it's cleared out, if you clear it out, you can then say, right, okay, your party as a team could spend a day to do one work point, or you could send word back to the tower, get them to send some workers out with some guards to come and repair locations or other things that you may want to do. We'll see how it goes as we go, what kind of locations you find, and then what opportunities there are to further the cause for Pargranin and kind of re-civilize this area of the countryside again. So equipment's important, and we'll be tracking days and rations. So it's hopefully it should be fun. Cool. Okay. Hopefully we've got everyone's got their characters in a pretty good shape now, and we can go around and people can just give a little summary, maybe with their stats and hit points, and anything interesting they want to share about their character. Dan's nodding his head, so we're going to start with Dan. Dan, do you want to give a rundown? Name of your character, what they are, stats.
So we have La Rue Renard, which is actually the French word for fox. See what I'm doing there? She is a Arctic fox, so she's white fur. Being an oracle as well, they tend to be white-furred foxes. She got quite hefty stats in dexterity and charisma because she's a fox. She's meant to be fast and darty around. So I am strength 10, dexterity 18, constitution 12. Intelligence 12, wisdom 10, and charisma 18.
Wow.
So she's a courtly noble, right? Or at least works in the courtly nobles people. Wow. So she needed to be charismatic and be able to talk to people, which is also sort of where my skills have gone as well. So I'm trained in acrobatics. I just like the idea of jumping around like a bouncy fox. Deception, fox, intimidation.
So they're probably all good at that anyway.
That's what I thought. So, and then I've got deception, intimidation, performance, society, religion, diplomacy, and stealth. Because she's a white fox, she's probably quite good at hiding. So, and that's what she's concentrated on. So she's not hitty. She's very much the opposite of hitty. Fast and get away from things. So, yeah. And and she's and what did I do? I've got my not my ancestry stuff, my mystery stuff. Mystery, and then my class feats. I got Firefox. I can shoot icicles from my tail. So
wow.
Oh, that's cool.
It only does like 1d4
so
damage,
cool.
but I thought it was quite cool. It gives a little something.
It's awesome.
That's cool.
She gets to flick a tail and icicles come out, so it's quite cool. So
Lorim ice coming out of your tail.
Yeah, exactly that. So that's her.
Amazing.
Excellent. Right. Who's next? Who wants to summarize their character next?
I don't think I can follow icicles from my arse.
Millie.
All right.
Come on, Millie.
All right. So
Let's have your braggart.
We've got Roskilla, the Ruddy Amazing, who is.
Is that what she says when she enters the room?
Grand. I'm Roskilla, Ruddy Amazing.
Roskilla, the Ruddy Amazing.
Ruddy
Or does
Amazing.
she send someone in first to say that? Oh, here comes Roskilla, the Ruddy Amazing.
Oh, they know her.
Oh, here they come again. Oh dear.
They are a gambler, and a swashbuckler. We've gone with strength of 10, dex of 18, con of 12, intelligence of 10, wisdom of 12, and then most of those extra 4s went into the charisma. So we've got a 16 charisma.
Nice.
So she's doing all right. A bit slow because she only has a speed of 20 feet. So, we'll catch up eventually. Where are what did we go with the Braggart style swashbuckling, and the class feat we have is one for all. So with precisely the right words of encouragement, I can bolster an ally's efforts. This action counts as sufficient preparation to aid that ally. When you use the aid reaction to help that ally, you can roll diplomacy in place of the usual check, which is good, because where is diplomacy? Hang on. which button is it? Not actions, not inventory. I don't do the spells, not crafting.
It's the little hand.
There we go.
It's proficiencies.
My
yeah.
diplomacy is +6, which feels good.
Nice.
Feels
Yeah,
good.
that's good.
And then thievery, stealth, and acrobatics are all +7. So,
Wow.
yeah, we're going to be a little bit of a weird little.
Like it.
Collectible.
Good
things.
stuff.
I've got
Stuff.
law skill, game law. I know about
Game law.
games.
Cool.
It's the gambler in you.
I feel the Swashbuckler and the Gunslinger might become friends at some point, but we'll see.
Yeah.
I don't do friends. All my friends are dead.
You've all got ploofy coats with like the cut bits and split.
Maybe I'm just looking down
Who's
the
Kiefer
equipment
Sutherland and who's Charlie Sheen? Come on, that's what I want to know.
Definitely Kiefer.
Cool. Okay, excellent. So our dwarven swashbuckler
Thanks,
is fantastic. Yeah, thank you, chap.
Well done, chap.
One for All is an amazing choice. Hex Grid Heroes, thank you for joining us in the chat.
That's an under.
Yeah, maybe.
It's been done.
Cool. Okay, right. Abdoon, come on, let's have your gunsmith.
We got Clip Killhaven,
Nice.
Elven Gunsmith Gunslinger, been up in that gnome city learning all about them guns. All about the shooting, basically. I'm hoping he's run away from the gnome city with a large collection of arms and can never return again. Escaped on some sort of hang glider, glided his way down to where we are now.
Yeah, that's cool.
Strength, who needs it? Dex 18, Con a character breaking 14.
Wow.
Intelligence of 16 from all that studying. Everything else flat 10.
Okay,
Cause
cool.
irrelevant. Who needs wisdom and charisma when you can shoot things from a long way away?
Very true. Very true.
Having taken the way of the sniper, he gets a bonus called one shot, one kill, which is basically first hit does additional damage.
Mhm.
And that can then build later levels. You get vital shot, which is where you get to do bleed damage. And for all of us who've
Ooh.
ever suffered bleed damage in a role-playing game, ooh, ow,
Yes.
it's fun to be on the giving end of that. Because that doesn't happen very often. What else is fun about them? They're very acrobatic because they need to get up in them trees. Oh yes, Woodland Elf, so sneaky as hell in woods. Automatically get to be basically in cover in woodlands. Being a sniper helps if I'm in cover.
Very handy.
Ooh, look at
Very
that.
handy.
A little bit of arcana, a bit of crafting for making bullets. Surprisingly low nature. Surprisingly low survival. Stealth and thievery, quite high. Also quite good at engineering and elven law. That's
So,
Clip
as a
Killhaven.
young woodland elf, you're always thinking these trees would make really good handles for guns.
You know, what I'm thinking is we put some cannons up there, and we got a sniper's nest up there. And what are you doing with that bow and arrow? Just get out of my face!
Cool.
Oh my
Excellent.
god!
Excellent. Right. Roger, how are you doing?
I think I might have missed something, but we'll worry about that later.
Okay.
So I've got my Jotun champion who
Mhm.
has 18 strength,
Yep.
10 dex, 16 constitution, 10 intelligence, 10 wisdom, and 14 charisma.
Nice.
It gives him 25 hit points,
Cool. Wow.
speed of 30, and I think that's probably about it. I haven't quite figured out the rest yet.
That's okay. That's okay. And you're worshipping Thedaros.
Yeah, Thedaros.
Cool. Who normally hangs out on the Sky Islands of Yanath, which is a couple of levels up. But traders and people from that area come down on sky ships because you can literally fly down from one layer of the world mountain to another. So, you've maybe come down from that area recently. There's a lot of Jotuns up there on a sky ship down to Pargranin, and you've found yourself interested in these Rimwood Wilds. Cool. Okay. I'm expecting lots of smitey stuff from you then, Roger, in the future. So that'll be cool. And anything else there, Roger? You bought any equipment? Got any armor or anything yet?
I haven't even got close to figuring that out yet.
Okay, no worries.
I've just purchased a dueling cape. If that covers everything.
Wicked, Ben.
Oh, you need a dueling cape and a pack of cards.
Yep, I'm done. Oh, pack of cards. Is that in there?
No, that's not fair. I think an extravagant hat is also essential.
Well,
Oh,
I
and
do
some
have.
swash-topped boots.
I do have clothing fine.
Oh yeah. Well, there you go.
There we go.
There you go.
You're good. You're
That
covered.
covers all that.
You have
Absolutely.
biggest feather.
Oh, there are marked playing cards. Now let me read about these.
There's a Kenku out there that really wants its feather back, but it looks much better in your hat.
Yeah.
Okay, Ben.
All right, here we go.
Oh boy.
So, as discussed,
Strap in, everyone.
it's about to get weird. So, an energy scarred summoner with a genie background, raised by spirits of the earth. So, the languages I have are Dwarven, Terran, and Common.
Okay.
Strength 12, Dex 10, Con 14, Int 12, Wisdom 10, Charisma 18. Because I am just fascinating and resonant. Makes really nice noises.
Great.
So then what we got?
We flick you a lot. Like,
Please don't. I've kind of built something of an earthbender, funnily enough, with all of
That's
these
cool.
earth connections. So spell-wise, I've got a couple of things that will boost my Eidolon. I've got boost Eidolon and reinforce Eidolon. I have healing plaster, which means I could just like slap a bit of mud on and use it for healing purposes. Scatter Scree, which is basically gravel blast.
Cool.
And everybody's favorite prestidigitation.
Yeah.
Then my first level spells to choose from are Pummeling Rubble and Shockwave.
Oh,
It's going to be a
Pummeling
nice
Rubble sounds like
stampy
fun.
one, I think.
nice.
Skills. I'm very intimidating, as it turns out. Like
You're
plus
very
7 in
intimidating.
intimidation.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, you do. I mean, you're rock-like. You're scarred by
Metal,
so
crystal.
you got cracks. Have you got cracks through the crystal then, from the sonic attack that injured you?
I
but
will
left you
give it a
resistant?
bit more thought as to how
Yeah.
that forms
Yeah.
and builds. But I think instead of hair, it's definitely like a crystal structure coming out of the back of the head,
Oh,
kind of thing.
that's
With
not
slightly
bad, that
metallic hue to
pummeling
the
rubble.
skin.
Anime hair.
That's quite a
Basically.
15-foot cone
Yeah.
that allows you to do 2d4 bludgeoning damage to everyone in the cone.
Yeah. Eat
That's
gravel.
good. 2 actions to do that.
Bit of athletics, bit of performance, bit of crafting, bit of diplomacy. Those are all at 4. Survival and nature at 3. Society 1.
You're a literal mineral. Yes.
Yeah.
Healing clay. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. Excellent.
Simple weapons, unarmed, unarmored proficiencies. So that's going to be really easy. Feats. Obviously, I've got my Oread feat.
Mhm.
Then I've taken for my Eidolon the expanded senses feat, which means it also gets low light vision and tremor sense,
Okay, cool.
because I felt that was deeply appropriate.
Yep.
Very handy.
Very cool.
Oh, hang on, I might get another one then, because that's the evolution feat that I already get. Oh, I might have another feat to go then. Oh well, I'll have a look at that in a sec.
You've got another feat to go. What's that one?
Well, the evolution feat that I get, I'm not sure if it's the same as the summoner feat.
I think your ancestry feat went down into your bonus feats, didn't it?
It did, yeah, but I might get a summoner feat still.
Okay. Yeah, a class one.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
so I
If
should
it says empty
probably
slot, then
have.
we should.
Does it say in the list? Was it say ancestry and background, initial proficiencies, Eidolon, evolution feat, link spells, spell repertoire, summon a spellcasting. Now I get the evolution feat instead of my own.
Okay, well there you go. That is
So
basically
the
your
Eidolon
summoner.
gets the upgrade instead of me. But I
Okay.
do get to summon this sort of rock and energy Eidolon creature out of the ground that looks at the minute kind of like a snaky dragon.
Cool. Very cool. Okay. Right. Excellent. So we've got an interesting party of characters there, I think. Millie, would you be able to put the hex screen back up just for us, for our viewers?
All the thing in a way.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Sorry.
There we go.
Excellent. Cool. Okay, so I've highlighted the 3 areas that your what's his name? Sorry, let me get the thing out. Doric Emberblade, who is the leader of this expedition, staying at the tower. Excuse me. And there are 3 things that Doric is interested in, so we can have a target for our first adventure session next week. Do we have a particular one that we think people would be more interested in going towards?
Go hard or go home. Ruin. It's furthest away.
I think we should clear out that village. It's controlling that coastline, and you don't want that blocking your exit route.
I'm inclined to choose the village because there are people in the village. People.
Oh, I didn't know there were people. Oh, I
Have
don't know.
millennia.
It's well, you're not sure. It's like a ruined village. It's
Oh.
like a buried village.
Oh, is it? Oh.
Yeah,
But
yeah. But it's
if we-
nearby, so they can see more what it is.
If we can clear that, then we could turn that into like coastal port, and then I think we get you some more gambling going on.
It would control the river as well.
What the champion said.
Look up really high.
Marquisa Renard, what are your thoughts?
Well, I think we should, look at the village. It is closer to where we are right now. Less traveling for the time being. That's the best I've got as a French accent, so I apologize.
It's a Kitsune accent.
You
Yes.
heard mine, right?
The natural kitsune.
It looks like the village it is.
Cool. Okay. Well, that is going to take you 2 exploration activities to reach.
Mm-hmm.
So that will take you 2 days to fully get there. And because the site you're in is a tower, this counts as a landmark. This is a feature I'm adding to the game. If you are within the vision radius of a landmark, you get a bonus to your navigation rolls to move between hexes.
Less
Could
likely to get lost.
You're less likely to get lost because you can see something as a point of reference.
Mhm.
So as you go along, we'll find landmarks, and then you'll be able to think, oh, I've got safer travel near the landmarks. Also, if you leave a landmark site, you don't need to make a navigation roll to leave a landmark site or to enter a landmark site, because it's clear where you are. Yep. So for this one, you won't need to make a navigation roll, but it will take 2 days for you to, unless you want to push yourselves, but you will be fatigued. You could do it in 1 day if you wanted to, but otherwise it will be 2 days to get to the village.
No, I don't want to push myself. I don't think
LaRue would definitely not want to push herself.
that's my deal. No.
I think it's best to turn up prepared and ready rather than rush in.
Okay, great.
You
So
wouldn't want to be tired.
what we'll do then is, on our next session of Roads and Ruins, we will see what's going on in the village, and that will be our first session. Okay.
Dun, 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 dun,
Cool.
dun.
Cool. Okay. Well, I think we'll leave it there then, because it's nearly 11:30 in
Yeah.
the UK, and it's been a good session getting the characters. I think we've got most of the characters sorted. There's a few loose ends to tie up, but that's
Bit of
always the way.
shopping to be done.
There's a bit of shopping to be done. Yes, there is. And we have a target for our next session. And what we'll do is we'll see what happens in that tile, and then if that's complete, then we'll figure out where we're going to move to next. Okay, excellent. Right. Well, thank you everyone, players, for joining in and figuring those characters out. We've got some really interesting characters there. I think it's going to be a good party. We've got a nice mix. Got quite a bit of combat capable characters, which is good, but we've got some sneaky and some magic-y stuff going on as well, which is cool, and some interesting ones with some interesting abilities. I like the sound of some of the swashbuckler stuff. That sounds quite cool, and a crazy sniper elf as well. So that'll be good.
It's very much not a traditional party, is it?
Yeah, I think
we don't have a fighter. We don't have a rogue. We don't have a wizard. We don't have a cleric.
No.
Excellent.
No, but you've got a champion and a gunslinger.
Oh yeah, we've got all the bases covered.
Yeah.
Just not in the classical sense.
Absolutely. Cool. Excellent. And thank you, viewers, for staying with us through our character creation episode. And if you're watching back on YouTube, thank you. Please don't forget to go and check out all our social media. There's links below in the about if you're watching on Twitch, and in the video description if you're watching back on YouTube. If you are watching on YouTube, please come and join us live on Twitch. This show will be on Tuesday nights, pretty much for the rest of the year. And if you are watching on Twitch, don't forget to go and check the video out on YouTube later. Give it a like, maybe a little comment about your favorite character or something interesting. Cool. Okay. Right. What else have we got going on in the week, Millie?
Oh, I know, because we did the thing yesterday. Hang on, let me find
Did
it.
Twig, didn't we?
There was a whole thing.
Let me find the Patreon post. I'm just going to read it off the Patreon because that's easy.
That's cool.
So
Thank you for the interlude music, Andy.
Just trying to fill space.
It's awesome. That's great.
So where are we? We're Tuesday. We're doing some Roads and Ruin Pathfinder 2nd edition character creation. Tomorrow at 2000 GMT, because it's no longer BST, it's GMT. More Once Upon a Time in the Old West.
What a town!
World. I always do that. What's happening? What are you doing next week? I heard there was something to do with beards.
Beards?
Yeah.
I think we're likely to be going into the sewers to definitely not get betrayed in any way, shape, or form by anyone.
Ilmarin is most displeased. He's going to once again end up in a sewer.
I swear we only
in
do it
Middenheim
because the
now,
elf
isn't it?
off.
Yeah.
Take the elf into the shittiest part of the city.
It was the dwarf's
Every
plan.
time.
Nice.
Awesome.
Good plan. And then on Thursday, we're going back into space.
Yay!
Space. We're going to do episode 3, which is called The Assessor's Gambit of Star Trek Endurance. We're going back to Narendra Station.
Oh, Alden, you get to go to a science fair.
There's going to be science.
Klingon science fair.
And we already know that
The
Pendek.
last time there was science, I licked a monolith.
Yeah, Pendek's going to sell science to the Klingons. It's going to be a diplomatic incident. We're all going to get back on the ship and leave. Something like that. I don't know.
Just the one.
Just-
Oh, okay.
Just the one.
A quiet day.
And then after Star Trek Endurance, there is Visid Delta Green Session 6 at 2100 CST, where something's going to explode, somebody else is going to die, and everybody's going to go insane.
I've been catching up. I'm just finishing episode 2 of that. It's and that's really good. It's very interesting, and they've just made such a mess of it already. I can't imagine what it's going to be like by episode 6.
Yeah. Terrifying. And then on Friday, going to play some Star Wars.
Wow.
Oh yeah.
Star Wars 2100
Wow.
GMT. We're going to break from the traditional Garblag Star Wars of West End gaming and go with the FFG system.
It's great fun.
It's going to be great. Matt was telling us it's just every book. Go. We're going to try them all. in
massive
one
mashup.
campaign. Great.
Unfortunately, I can't join on Fridays, but my character will be there in spirit. He's a gonk droid, retrofitted to have extra capabilities. Got
Excellent.
kicked out because he couldn't perform the basic functions of a gonk droid, but his name is Bonk.
Bonk the gonk. Okay,
Yep.
good.
Bonk.
Glad we put a lot of work into that.
Yeah, that was good.
All the other characters are like super powerful hench killers, and I thought, just I'm going to be a
Listen,
droid.
A Jedi, a Mandalorian,
I would not dream of killing. It would be wrong.
and Jedi Mandalorian.
It is morally inadvisable.
What was the other one?
Ex-clone
Trooper.
veteran.
Ex-clone
yeah.
trooper. Yeah.
That was it. That's it.
Yeah.
Totally, completely unaffiliated with Book of Fett, but
Yeah.
totally.
Definitely not that.
We're not cashing in on the current gen. Anyway.
No. Heavens, no. Imagine that.
No,
Wouldn't dream of it.
No.
but yeah, that's everything that's happening on the
Awesome.
channel this week.
Cool. Thanks, Millie. And to find out more stuff and see some of the behind the scenes things, talk to people about what's going on, join us on our Discord. We've got over 550 members in our community now. We're about to turn it from a private page into a community. So have extra tools and cool stuff going on. And also don't forget to check out our Patreon. We're doing more stuff for patron only content. Today just released many editions of D&D episode 1, which our patrons have been able to see for the last 2 weeks. We've now released to the public. But in the new year, we're doing some new stuff for patrons, and there will be some patron-only shows coming in the future, which is cool. We're going to do some longer form stuff for patrons, which will be great fun. Am I forgetting anything?
Probably, but it's
Yeah,
late.
there's so much stuff. But anyway, it's late.
Oh,
Thank you
some
very
merch
much.
on the Redbubble.
Oh,
Oh,
merch.
there's
on
merch
there.
on there,
Merch.
yeah.
Yeah.
Merch. Look at the merch. Yes. Cool. And I've got 300 copies of Dodecker sitting in my garage if anyone wants one.
I already have one.
Hit me up with the DM on the Discord.
What
Cool.
would I do
Okay.
with another one?
Oh, Roger's just grabbing one.
That
There
matched
you
sets.
go. There you go.
Look at
Get a
that.
pair. I could have
Cool.
one to play and the other one just to keep in pure mint condition.
Absolutely.
Little sealed plastic wallet.
Yeah.
Still in the blue padded envelope I sent.
Laminate
With the
it.
very colourful stamps.
Yes. Yeah. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Thank you to my players. And we've been Garblag Games. We'll see you tomorrow for Woofrup. And stay safe and happy gaming.
Yay. Bye.
Bye-bye.